Let's go ahead and work through the steps of creating an actual release branch, pushing it to production, and completing the whole release cycle. There's a number of steps that we're going to need to go through in order to complete this. And our first is to actually create the release branch. So we've created branches before. With the release branch, we're going to go ahead and name it a special way. We're going to call it release dash and then the number of the release. So first we need to know what the number of the release is going to be. And so let's go ahead and take a look at our current tags by using get tag and then passing the L parameter. So we have versions 1.2 and 1.3, and you can really use any release name convention you'd like. What I'm going to do for the rest of this series is simply increment the second number. So let's go ahead and create our release branch by using get checkout B, and then the name is going to be release dash, and then the tag that we're going to tag the release with, which will be 1.4. All right, so we switch to the new branch. We're good to go. Now, one of the ideas behind a release branch is that no new features should be added to it, only bug fixes. And of course, depending on your project, you're going to approach this different ways and draw the line in different places. But the basic principle is that we're trying to polish this release. We're trying to make sure there's no bugs before we push it to production. And if we add new features to the branch, the chances of there being some bugs we haven't discovered yet get higher. Now, chances are we want to share this release branch with other people so they can work on it too. So let's go ahead and push it to our remote. We're going to use the git push command. We'll use the name of the remote, and then we'll use the name of the branch that we want to sync up, which is release 1.4. And I'm going to hit enter. We've done this before, and this will not only push the branch, but it also creates tracking so that we can use push and pull to sync up with the remote branch. Okay, our next step is to fix any bugs in the branch, typically on a staging site. In our case, we're going to go ahead and do it on the development site, which is just fine, but a staging site usually mimics the production site a little bit more. The actual server configuration should be more similar to the production site than our development site is. So let's go ahead and mimic a couple of bug fixes. I'm going to jump to the directory of our site, and let's go ahead and begin by opening up the second step of the assets module and copying all of the code, and then opening up the assets module and pasting the code over the code that's currently in there. Now let's make sure that we're just going to push this one change with git status. Okay, we have our modified file. Looks good. Let's commit. I'm using the A parameter in order to skip staging, and the message is added step 2 of assets.module, and then I added in parentheses bug fix. Okay, so we got that committed. Let's go ahead and do one more. I'm going to open up step 3 in the assets step folder. I'm going to copy the code, and I'm going to paste it over the assets.module file and save it. And then I'm going to jump back to the command line. Let's go ahead and do a git status to make sure we have our change, and we'll do a commit. I'm just doing the same commit as before, but changing it to added step 3, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now we have 2 bug fixes, and these will both get pushed to our master branch and to production, and then back to the development branch as well. Next, let's go ahead and merge our release with the master branch. First, we need to make sure that we're on the master branch, and we can do so with git checkout master. Okay, we've switched to the branch master, and now we need to perform a merge. Now it's important to know that we can't make any changes to the release branch at this point. After this merge, then we need to make a new release if we're going to make any more changes. So let's go ahead and do the merge by typing git merge, and let's pass it the noFF parameter, which again will do a couple things for us. It will allow us to visualize what commits were part of this branch when we look at a graphical visualization, and also it will add a commit message for the merge. And then we need to name the branch that we want to merge in, release 1.4, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, the merge has been completed. Now at this point, the master branch is in a state that we can update production with. So if we went to the production site and updated it now, we should be good to go with the next release. Our next step is to tag master with our release name, which is 1.4. We've done tagging before. We do it with git tag. We give it the name of the tag we want to add. We pass it -a as a parameter to make this an annotated tag, which is a bit richer than the default tag. and we can add a little message here, and I'll just put release of 1.4, and I'm going to hit enter. Now when we do git tag L, we'll see a list of our tags, including our 1.4. Okay, next, let's go ahead and update our production site with the updates to the master branch. Now before we can pull into production, we need to go ahead and push our changes. So I'm going to do git push. And now let's jump over to our production site, and let's make sure that we're on the right branch. So I'm going to do git checkout master, and then let's do a git pull. Now, when we do a log with git log, pass it the one line parameter here, we now have our merge branch release 1.4, added step 3 of assets module and step 2. So we have all of our changes from our release branch that have been pulled into the master branch. So we're good to go. I'm going to hit Q to exit out of Vim. Now while we're on production, let's go ahead and take a look at our tags. Notice that nothing gets listed here. That's because tags are like branches in the sense that you need to push them to the remote in order to pull them down to another site. So right now our tags only exist on development, which might be a little bit dangerous if we're using tags as a reference. So let's go ahead and jump back to development and push our tag. And we do so just like we push a branch. We use git push and then the name of the remote, which is origin, and then the name of the tag, which is 1.4. Okay, now we can jump back to production and do a git fetch. And now, if we do git tag L, we'll see our tag. And we can go through and add all of our tags this way. So next, we need to take any updates that were made to the release branch and pull them into the develop branch. So I'm going to go to our development command line, and I'm going to make sure that I'm on the develop branch with git checkout develop. And now we're going to go ahead and do a git merge, and we'll pass it the no ff parameter again. And we'll specify the release 1.4 as the branch to pull in. And I'm going to hit enter. So now if I do a git log on this branch, we'll see our merge, and we'll see step 3 and step 2 of the assets module added in. So our final step is to delete the release branch. Now before, it was pretty easy. We simply used git branch and then passed it the d parameter in order to delete a particular branch. But now we have a local branch, but we also have the branch on our remote site, which we need to delete as well. So let's go ahead and make sure we're on the development site here, and let's delete that remote branch. The way we do it is by doing git push and then the name of our remote. So this looks exactly like it does when we're pushing a branch, adding a new branch, but instead of just using the branch name, we're going to use a colon before the branch name. So again, git push origin, just like we were going to push a new branch to origin, but we're using colon as a negative. And then I'm going to hit enter. So now if we take a look at our branches with git branch A, we'll see that we don't have our release branch on the remotes. So now we just need to delete it locally, which we've done before with git branch D, and then the name release 1.4. Okay, so we went through the entire process.